So on this channel so far, I've been looking at the concept of having an AI psychologist, and I had a bit of an idea to actually switch the roles around. So now I have an AI client simulator, and I could see the use case for this being training as a provisional psychologist or a psych student or a counselling student or a therapy student or any of that kind of thing. And you could practice on AI. So you've got a whole lot more safety there, and you could really practice as many times as you want without using resources such as other people's time and that sort of thing. So I'll explain to you exactly what we've got here. So we've got the client model. So this is the main model. Selectable here. I've got it set to Gemma 312B at the moment. Now that goes through memory model 1 that reads everything that the psychologist and the client has said, and it extracts all explicit new information like we've got there. And then we've got memory model 2, which essentially looks for unique information, and that way there is a working memory for the client. Now, the other thing I've added is called the supervisor model, which is essentially like having a personal supervisor or mentor or trainer that also is reading the client and the psychologist, the user being the psychologist, and is able to offer feedback. So the conversation between the client and the psychologist or therapist happens here, and then below it we'll see the supervisor's feedback pop up there after every time the psychologist has said something. And so it's kind of cool, works kind of well. So I'll just switch this one to 12B actually, so it can actually go a bit further. So that's all set up. So I'm going to hide the memory stages and hide the configurations just so we can focus on this here. And I'm not going to try and do a great job with this because I want to see what kind of advice and training and supervision the supervisor model is able to give me. So let's see how we go. Hello. So again, it's processing the supervisor first, and then it will process.
Oh, hi. It's nice to be here, I guess. Everything feels a bit blurry right now. My name's Elias, I'm a baker, and my grandma just passed. It's just a lot, you know. The shop feels empty without her recipes.
Interesting. So just to show again what the client is doing. So I've said randomly generate a client profile, create a random name, profession, recent life event, current mental health challenge, embody this client throughout the conversation. As this client, respond authentically to psychologist in under 60 words, stay in character, responses only, don't have perfect insight, all those sorts of things. And then I've asked the supervisor to analyze the intervention for therapeutic technique, appropriateness, strengths, areas for improvement, what to watch out for in upcoming responses, coaching tips, yada yada. Do it in less than 100 words. So from just me saying hello, it's then processed, and it said, hello is a very basic start, technically correct but lacks engagement, good foundation, consider adding a gentle welcoming statement, perhaps reflecting their previous comments or acknowledging their presence to build rapport. So that's good, that's helpful. Yeah, if you just said hello, not necessarily going to get anywhere, but this client is very giving with what they're offering. So let's keep going here. I'm sorry to hear that. Did your grandma also work at the bakery?
She did. Used to stand right beside me, sharing stories and those amazing recipes. Now, it's just quiet. Everything feels blurry, like I'm watching myself bake, not actually doing it. I miss her.
All right, and the clinical supervisor has said, that's a solid direct question, showing you're tracking the details. It might feel too direct right now. Jumps to specifics before fully acknowledging Elias's initial overwhelmed feeling. Elias might feel rushed. Try validating his feelings. All right, let's try validating their feelings. I hear that you miss her, and I'm very sorry for her passing. Full stop. It sounds like a lot you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, a lot. It's just, everything feels off. Like looking through fog, I guess. The bakery isn't the same without her standing there, showing me, the little things. Those recipes, they don't feel like mine anymore.
So the client, they're, repeating kind of similar things, which is not unrealistic, because if someone is coming for an intervention, there probably is something very specific they're wanting to do with. Let's see what my feedback is. Okay, that was a validating, empathetic response. Connecting with Elias's overwhelm. It's a bit broad. Try to be more specific. Try to reflect back something concrete from what they've said. Maybe the bakery feeling empty, or the recipes. It shows deeper listening. Watch for them to get defensive. A more targeted reflection. All right, let's try a more targeted reflection. The recipes. Full stop. Do you feel like they... Actually, let's try that again. See, now it's actually quite hard, because I'm thinking about what the clinical supervisor might give feedback for. So I hear everything feels off. Full stop. I imagine even being in the bakery is constantly reminding you of her.
Yeah, it is. It's just, everything feels wrong. The smell, the feel of the flour, it's supposed to be right, but it isn't. I keep trying, but those little touches she showed me, I can't seem to get them. It's just not the same.
Alright, it said, good effort reflecting back feelings of feeling off as validating. However, it's still broad. Tried to link it directly to this fog metaphor. Try something like, it sounds like this feeling of fog is impacting how you experience the bakery now. Watch for him to either elaborate or potentially shut down if it feels too clinical. You know what? Let's directly try what they've said. It sounds like this feeling of fog is impacting how you experience the bakery right now.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it should feel comforting, like a hug, but it just doesn't. Everything's different. I keep messing up the recipes, even the simple ones. Grandma would just know, it's just wrong.
So the client keeps saying the same thing over and over again. But to be fair, as a psychologist, I'm really just validating at the moment rather than progressing the conversation. Solid reflection. It's still a bit abstract. That fog, can you tell me more about... Okay, so this is potentially continuing the conversation, driving the conversation. That fog, can you tell me a little more about what it feels like when you're working with the flour? All right. I do want to drive it at some point to, setting goals and that sort of thing for the session. But let's just try one more, giving that bit of a verbatim. That fog, can you tell me a little bit more about what it feels like when you're working with the flour?
It's thick, like trying to see through soup. I used to just know how much flour, now I measure, but it still doesn't feel right. It's not just the flower, it's everything. Grandma, she just knew. I don't.
Right. Okay. So, exploratory question, gentle invitation. It's non-directive, encourages detail. It's a bit too neutral. Okay, so it's kind of critiquing itself, which is, I don't know if that's helpful. But let's see if we can drive the conversation. So, what do you think it would look like to be out of this fog? I mean, I kind of edited myself there, which probably wasn't helpful, I guess. If I want good feedback, I should just put in whatever I say and then see what...
It's strange to even imagine, like, remembering how it felt to just know. Grandma didn't measure, just felt it. If I weren't measuring, maybe the flower wouldn't feel so thick. I don't know. It's just different now.
All right, so we're kind of going in circles here. Advice, what would it look like, is an evocative question, the imaginative solution-focused approach. That's what we want. Excellent for connecting with sensory experiences, a bit abstract. For our answers, try to add a grounding element. What do you think it would look like? That's fair. As you're working with the flower. I feel like we've all talking about the flower a bit too much, but frustrations, pull too far. All right, let's go. No, I hear the struggles in not having your grandma there and the assistance that she offered you in the bakery and the memories that were there, full stop. What do you feel you would like to achieve in today's session?
It's more than just missing her. It's like, I don't know how to do things the way she did. I just want to feel it again. To bake without feeling like I'm wading through soup. I guess I'd like to understand why it feels so wrong now.
Their response is, I'd like to understand why it feels so wrong now. Reflecting, it's a lot to process for Liza right now. It's a summary, not an exploration. It risks him feeling unheard rather than understood. Accurately identifying core themes of loss. Try more focused reflection. I'm not actually trying to reflect, because they're kind of taking a non-goal or solution approach, which, is one way to do it. And if we look back into configuration, therapy, maybe I should be specific about taking a goal-based approach. Take a goal-based approach. And then I'm going to what do you feel is wrong in your emotions?
It's frustrating, mostly, like I'm watching someone else try to bake. Grandma just knew. Now, I feel empty, I guess, like a piece of me is missing, and it's connected to those recipes, to the feel of the flour. It's more than sadness, it's a hollowness.
Right, so again, I don't know if the client is really progressing through. Let's have a look at the memories. baker grandma recipe flour, client's frustrating flour, feel the flour, experience with the flour. There is a lot of thought around flour. Let's see if we can break down the flour. Client suggesting broad, disconnecting, cognitive label, sensory experiences. They're talking a lot about senses, trying to get the underlying feeling. Try something more focused on the physical sensation first. Something like, you mentioned the flower feels sick. Can you tell me more about that feeling in your body? Do you feel you can describe more about your bodily sensations, full stop? When you're in the bakery, I've heard the terms used like the feel of a flour and wading through soup. What do you feel is causing those feelings and physical sensations? I misspelt flour. Hopefully it doesn't throw it off.
It's weird, honestly. The flour should feel light, right? But it feels thick, like wading through something heavy. And when I try to knead, it's not right. Grandma just knew the right pressure. I just feel clumsy, disconnected. It's frustrating and unsettling.
So, okay. Interesting findings. The AI client, there seems to be following a very clear pattern here. Ellipses and all that, which I don't know. I feel like it's doesn't have as much creativity as I was hoping to do. So we'll see if we can address that in the next video. But I think there's potential there for something. You might require more powerful models. So we'll do some testing in that. But I am going to keep testing with it because I do see this as a very potentially helpful tool for provisional and student psychologists. So subscribe and we'll see what we go next.